Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslims for Progressive Values. I am your host, Kendra Cordova. Because of all of this stress and craziness going on in the world right now, I was going to do some more like serious topics, but I think it would be good to do like a more relaxed, video. So I have 7 different Qur'ans/Qur'an translations I want to share with you guys. If you're an English speaker, these are going to be my opinions on these 7 different Qur'ans that I have. This is not including digital versions, but actual physical versions, and sort of share what I really like about these ones, or what I don't like about this specific translation, and you can just get some ideas if you are looking for a new Qur'an, or maybe you aren't a Muslim and you're looking at like reverting to Islam, but you want to be able to read the Qur'an. Let's get started. The first thing to note is that for it to be considered a Qur'an or the Qur'an, it has to be in the original Arabic. Anything that is translated is going to be a translated version of the Qur'an. It's a version, it's not the Qur'an. Now, one thing that's really interesting about Islam is that anywhere you go in the world, whether you are in Malaysia, you're in Saudi, you're in Australia, you're in the US or England or France, wherever you are, the Arabic version of the Qur'an is always going to be exactly the same word for word. So that's super great. The differences here come with the translations. So I've talked about like rhetorical analysis previously on a lot of videos, because that's sort of like my specialty area, my day job work, right? There are different ways to translate a text. So there's the translating like word for word, where you literally just want like to match the words that were used with this like exact meaning in another language. Sometimes that's a little difficult because we might not have a word for that idea, but they do their best to sort of like translate like the word for word without any other information added in. A lot of times some texts, like some of the ones I'll show you, try to use a more like archaic language choice there, like, I'll give you an example of one of the ones I have, but basically they'll like use the like older English, right, or like an older French, or like an older grammatical and like word usage here to make sure that it keeps that feeling of being an older text. Other ones I'll show you will have like more modern language choices, because they'll be translating for like understanding, right? So like if, for example, I had an English text and the original said it's raining cats and dogs, right? But if that phrase doesn't mean that it's downpouring outside, if you translate the word for word into another like language and it's raining cats and dogs doesn't mean anything for the people there, that just sounds weird. The translating for understanding is going to be translating that sentence to explain that it is downpouring outside, right? Raining heavily, whatever that is. And some other versions are going to come with footnotes. They're going to come with historical context. They're going to have like way more in them to be able to like make it easier to understand the text, especially if it's from like a different time period, right? And this is like from a very different time period, right? This is 1400 years ago. So I want to share with you guys some of these ones that I have, what I like, and maybe necessarily don't like some of the choices that they made, whatever that is. So the first one I want to show you is my copy that I have of the Qur'an, right? So this one was actually gifted to me by a family member. I don't have very many family members that are, okay with me being a Muslim, but I do have a couple. So this is actually gifted to me when I converted to Islam. It was very sweet. So if you're looking for like a gift set for someone, this one she bought online. It came with like this Qur'an, and then it came with like some of the dhikr beads and a prayer rug, like travel rug. So that's this one. So it comes with like, you get to personalize the name on it. So it's very nice. It's got like different colors you can do for like the felt. And then it is the original Arabic. like the whole thing, cover to cover, is the original Arabic. Also, for those of you who don't know, Arabic, the books are actually like backwards from what it is used in like English and French and Spanish and those other ones. In the same way, like a manga, if you're, into anime or whatever, like Japanese, it's the same. It reads from right to left, right? So the books are actually reversed. So if you get a Quran that has the Arabic in it, it's going to be in that reversed binding, right? So those are really cute. If you're looking for, having an Arabic Quran or gifting one to someone, that would be really great. The next one I have for you guys was like the first Quran that I ever bought years ago. This one is the Arabic, the transliteration, and then an English translation. I do want to throw a note out here because I'm probably going to get comments about people saying that if you want to be a good Muslim, you need to be able to read it in Arabic. That is not necessarily true. Now, of course, if you want to read and understand and have that deep connection with the Quran in its original form, that is a great goal to have, like to learn Arabic and learn, and be able to read it in Arabic. But knowing Arabic or being able to read it is not actually mandatory for being a Muslim. The majority of Muslims actually can't read and understand the Arabic. Now, there are a lot of Muslims that maybe went to Islamic schools and they were taught to like recite the Arabic, but they were never told what it actually meant. So that, they know the sound and the voice and the phrasing, but they don't really know what it is they're saying. In the same way, when I was raised in the Catholic Church and we would go to like a Catholic mass and they would have sections in Latin, we didn't have a Latin class, so we didn't actually know what the words were. We were simply like mimicking it. There's actually a line in the Quran that says, Allah gave this Quran to people in their own language so that maybe this time they would understand. That line specifically really points out the fact that Allah wants you to understand the words and the meaning and like what is being said and asked of you. So don't freak out if like it takes you a while to learn the Arabic. It's more important to understand the concepts and understand the themes and understand like what it is Allah is saying, right? With that said, this one is beautiful. It is in the original binding way here. This is the English translation by Marmaduke Picketall. In a lot of the English translation like apps that I have seen, like Quran apps, I've actually seen this version in there a lot. You can see that on every page it has the Arabic, it has the transliteration, meaning how it sounds or how to say it in the Arabic, and then it has the English version. I would not recommend this one as like your first Quran, only because, unless you're really into like older English and stuff, this one does try to keep the older language in the translation so it doesn't sound as easy to understand to modern English speakers as maybe some of the other ones. Like, for example, I can just, pull out a line here. Those of them with whom thou madest a treaty, and then at every opportunity they break their treaty, and they keep no duty to Allah. If thou comest on them, right? So it's like comest and thou, and right? So it's got this like older English. It's not how people talk nowadays. It's really trying to show like the how dated this piece of text is when they do that. But if you want to learn the transliteration and you want something that's going to side by side tell you like how to say each of like the phrases, if you're learning like recitation, this is a good one for recitation. All right. The next Quran I want to show you guys is one that I'm sure you guys have heard or seen or read. This is my favorite Quran for like researching and understanding, just because they did so well with this one. So this is the Clear Quran. You can see how like beat up my copy is. It's very well read. We got notes in the margins and everything, right? So I love this one because it's an easy to understand English translation. It's not super modern, but it's not super old-timey either. It's not as archaic. It's more modern, right, than some other ones might be, but it still keeps the original sort of cadence within each of the lines. And then the most important, amazing thing is at the beginning of each chapter or surah, it gives you information as to if this was Meccan or Median. It lets you know at what point and what was going on at the time to give you a historical context. And then anything that it says in here that it references things for those people at the time that were like, wait, what are you talking about? It does have footnotes, like multiple footnotes on each page, just to help you, like look how that footnote takes up almost half the page, to give you the historical context, the cultural context, all of that, to make it make sense, right? So if you are new to Islam or you're looking for a Quran to like better understand the Word of God, highly, highly recommend the Clear Quran. This is a great one. So speaking of modern language, I just bought this one. I haven't fully read through this translation, but I'm really liking it. This is the most modern English translation. So this is way easier to read. It reads like somebody is telling you this, like these stories. It's very like personal and direct. And while there might be like a couple archaic terms thrown in, it's much easier to digest and understand in modern English than some of the other ones. Plus, it's got a beautiful cover. Check this out. So this is absolutely beautiful. You know, nice, like larger print, wide spaces, and it does also have information about the beginning of the surahs as well. So this is called The Quran, a Verse Translation. This is by M.A.R. Habib and Bruce B. Lawrence. So if you want the most like modern translation, this one is really beautiful and very easy to read and understand. It doesn't have as many historical context and notes as the Clear Quran though, so if you want those, again, Clear Quran is amazing. This one's more like a, I don't want to say like a novelty type, but it's very unique. I haven't really run into a lot of these. This is a miniature, like pocket-sized travel Quran. This is the like more archaic English translation of like the green one that I have here, but it is really, really nice. So it actually came. I was very surprised. It came in this like fancy travel case, squishy travel case. So this is in the English language, summarized in one volume by Dr. Muhammad Taqiyuddin Al-Hilali, Dr. Muhammad Muhsin Khan, Islamic University. This is it from Medina, right? So this is like a beautiful English translation. It's got a little zipper, right? And the book is inside. It has those thin like Bible page type pages, and then it has the English translation, again, more of an older English, and then it has the Arabic over here as well. This is fun for traveling, but I would say that, again, it reads in a little more of an old-timey language, so it's not as easy to understand. Again, I wouldn't pick this as like your first Quran, but it's great for traveling. It's really cute. So I have two more Qurans to show you. Speaking of travel cases, this is my favorite one to travel with. If you came from, let's say, like a Christian background or maybe like a Jewish background, and you did the whole like Bible studies, and you kind of love that aesthetic and that feel for those like, you know, like thin pages, and the way that it's laid out and feels, this is the Quran for that aesthetic. So I have a travel case for this one. This is the one I usually take when I'm traveling. And, oh, these are in here too. If you, I don't know if they have these for Quran. If they do, and they have these at like Islamic like shops and stuff, let me know, because these are amazing. I don't live in a highly Muslim populated area, so these ones are called Bible highlighters, and I got them, you know, at the store, but these are amazing. So highly, highly recommend. Most highlighters on those like thin paper, like plasticky paper pages bleed through, and or it tears and it's whatever. These are actually made for that kind of paper. They're like crayons almost. They're very, very bright. They're like crayons, and they don't bleed because it's just like marking on top of the page. It doesn't transfer to the page next to it. These are great. I use them throughout this whole Quran. They're also color coded. So one of the things I did in this Quran that I have was, well, first of all, I put all the tabs, right, for every chapter. So I know, what surah we're in. Oh, here's the front. It's got this like soft faux leather feel to it. And then inside it's got those like thin like pages. Again, this is very like Bible study feel type. And then I decided to create a color code for those Bible highlighters as to different like themes or different aspects within the Quran. So ones that talk about Allah specifically, ones that talk about stories of the prophets, ones that talk about what it means to be a good Muslim or faith, ones, when it talks about sin, like all of those, it's all color coded with these. So this one is the translation explained by Nuruddin. Here you go, here's the name if you need it. This one was published by, let's see, the Quran Arabic Text English Translation, as explained by Allama Nuruddin. Who published this one? The Noor Foundation International. So this is the Noor Foundation one. And like I said, it's, I really like this one. So just because the aesthetic for it. The last one I want to show you guys, I have really mixed feelings about this one because it's really cool and really interesting, but I'm not a techie person. I'm not like a technological person most of the time, so it actually feels a little extra complicated to me. So this one was also a gift. It's funny, so with me being the only Muslim in my family, my parents will give me like Islamic gifts for Christmas, and then they'll put them in Happy Ramadan bags or whatever, like Ramadan Mubarak bags, which is, it's adorable. But so this one actually comes in a carrying case of its own. And this is for learning how to recite. So when you open this up, there you go. I don't want everything to fall out. If you guys are like around my age or like in your 30s, you probably remember like the Leapfrog, learning how to read with like the talking pen. And that's what this is. So to me, it's just a little complicated because it's one of those ones where you have to like push multiple buttons to like navigate through which, way you want it to say. Do you want it to say it slowly? Do you want to say it fast? Do you want it to, right? To me, I've struggled with this a little bit, but it's chargeable and it's got like the little sensor there so that when you open the Quran, it has the different places where you touch the pen to hear, right, the different parts here, different languages. So this is really beautiful. This is great for, again, if you're learning about recitation. This is specifically for learning about recitation of the Quran. Very helpful for that. And it did come with a few extra little fun booklets that it can work with as well. That includes like the Hajj information. So if you guys are planning on doing your Hajj, it's got some things that you say. It's got the where you walk, how you do it step by step for Hajj, which is, again, very adorable. I love it. It's so awesome. There's a talking dictionary here. So this is for like, I'm traveling and I need to understand like some common Arabic phrases, and it will teach you those as well for traveling. Sahih al-Bukhari, so it has a couple things from Bukhari, right? So some hadith, some information there as well. Again, this all works with that like digital pen. Sahih Muslim, it's got, some of those phrases and information. And then it's got the Al-Ruqya Al-Sharia as well. So it's got some legal like information as well, Islamic law and understanding for that. And then there's like the how you use it it's got some phrases as well. It comes with headphones. So this was a really sweet gift. My current studies don't focus on recitation, but again, if you're the kind of person who would want to do the recitation here, this is called Quran Voice Word by Word. It's the Tajweed color-coded, and this is by Islamic Affairs and Charitable Activities Department from Dubai. So this one is beautiful as well. If you guys have other versions of the Quran that I did not talk about here that you love, please share those down in the comments. If you want more information on progressive Islam, we're going to be doing another class, I think in like 3 weeks. It's always the first Saturday of each month. We're going to be doing some more hermeneutics, which is going to be sort of the theological analysis of the Quran as a religious text. And then I'm going to be doing some stuff here soon about women's rights, hijab. We're going to do more stuff on hijab. We're going to be doing stuff on social justice in general. And then later this year, I want to start going into some stuff on the life of the Prophet Muhammad, things like that. So it'll be super fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know things are super stressful right now, but yeah, we got this. We're going to read our Qurans. We're going to discuss Islamic thoughts, and it's going to be okay, y'all. So I hope to see you in the next video, inshallah. Until then, salam.